my box opening knife. Nope, not you, not you. There we go. You always need a dedicated box opening knife. I started using this, man, maybe 5-6 years ago. And even Christian, he has his designated box opening knife. You need one. You just have to have one. Okay, we got boxes here. Let me make sure you guys can see everything that's going on. There we go. Why CX Racing, for the price, in my opinion, are the best coilovers that you can buy for any car, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. We have the wrenches. We have a grease. And we have the adjusting knobs all in one packet. That's super nice. Let me show you guys this. Super excited about these. The rear sleeves. These things. Ooh. Yep, they are a two-piece, as the guys say it nowadays, two-piece coilover. This is obviously what bolts to your rear beam, and then your strut screws in here, so you don't have to worry about adjusting the spring rates. You just lower the car, and then you can have a softer spring rate or a stiffer spring rate independently from your height. Now, for the price, that's kind of unheard of, but nowadays, you know, it is what it is. You get, let's say, top price coilover technology and features, and the most affordable package. Look at these things. Obviously, you will screw this into the bottom here like this. You will use some of the grease, and that is how you set your height. Then once you set your height, lock it in place with this perch, and then you can set your spring rate. Obviously, the lower the perch is, the softer your ride will be. If you want a little bit more stiffer and sporty, you can increase the spring rate to give you a little bit more of a firm ride. Okay, this is so excited. These things look absolutely gorgeous. Super nice. Alright, let's get the other ones open. Get these beauties out of the way. So those are the rears, obviously, if you didn't know. Game time, boys. Everything's complete. You literally put your bearing, your heavy duty mount or whatever kind of mount that you're using, and then install it. It has the brackets for your brake lines to screw to, and then obviously to mount your suspension. This is your cup, your height cup, same as these. Like I said, you adjust these coilovers, the two-piece coilovers from the bottom, then you adjust your spring rate how you want it. Tip when installing these, obviously, what you want to do is, it's alright, it's getting dark outside, and this light is right above me, casting a shadow. Anyway, what you want to do is, we got 4 of those riding around in the grid. Anyway, you want to pretty much adjust this to what you think best guess is on far as height. You want to make them perfectly even, the 2 fronts and the 2 rears, Adjust everything pretty much the same, measure the thread count and everything. Install them, that way you know if you want to go down 4 or 5 coils on, or 4 or 5 threads on the right, do the same on the left to make sure your car is even. Otherwise you will have a more difficult time adjusting everything, going from right to left and measuring and all that stuff. So set everything up the same, install them, and then go from there with the adjustments. But like I said, these are perfectly, oh, these look so good. You have your dust cap in there. You have your rubber sleeve here, so you won't hear any clunking. You should, see if I can get it, show you guys. It's up in there. Now, normally when you have one-piece coilovers, you have to, if you want to go super low, you have to take the bump stop out, cut them in half, otherwise you'll be riding on that. With these, you don't have to worry about that because you're not adjusting the spring perch at all with these. You are adjusting the height from the bottom. So no matter what you set this to, or how high or how low you want to go, this is where you're at. Now obviously, if you want to go super low, you can crank this all the way down and then bring your spring perch all the way down to meet it. You're probably going to ride crappy, but it is what it is. Now, on to the good part of these coilovers. Alright, so have our bag of goodies here. Let's get them open. Like I said before, you get a anti-seize grease or anti-rust grease. You're definitely going to want to use this. A lot of people, they kind of hesitate using this because collecting road grime and all this stuff, it can stick rocks, but definitely you do not want your coilover rings and your perches to gall up, because once they seize, that's it. And you're going to have a rough time. So use your anti-seize grease. You get your 2 wrenches. They also have the spot for, you know, you could put a 1/2-inch ratchet here and turn them if need be. And then you have your adjusting knobs. Here we go. See if I can get that to focus in here. No. Well, anyways, it says hard, soft. Soft, hard. Pretty much. All you do is, you know, you set your car, you go for a drive, you know, I want a little bit softer. Take your wrench, your tool, stick it in the hole. Get it way down in there. It'll bottom out. And then as you turn it, it will click. It's a soft click, but you will feel the click. I believe CX is 32 ways, so you will feel 32 clicks. Obviously, I suggest when you set everything up the way you think you like, height-wise, find like around 16, 17, and then start in the middle and decide whether you want the car to ride smoother or a little bit stiffer as far as the struts go. So you would just click them all the way one way and then work your way back, counting the numbers. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, you get instruction manual here, which you don't really need. They tell you about the 32-way adjustment right there. Flies are, get away from me. So that's it for now. The sun is going down. I'm not going to work on this right now. Tomorrow, definitely when I get home, because the car has just been on jack stands, I'm going to install them. I'm going to take you through the process. Probably going to do a full install, no cuts, maybe, depending on the weather, and get everything installed. And then the sad part is I can't take the car for a drive just yet, because I do need to take the starter out, take it back to AutoZone for warranty, because I think the starter went. So there's that. But we will have the car back on the ground. We can set up the suspension as far as the height goes, and then once I deal with the starter issue, obviously we'll take it for a drive and then fine-tune the shocks. If I remember correctly, I used to ride around 10 from hard. Yeah, I think that. And then on long rides with like the family, I'd go all the way soft to have like a smoother ride with like the luggage and everything in the car. But don't worry about that. Tomorrow we'll deal with everything, if not the day after, because I'll probably deal with the starter tomorrow, and hopefully that doesn't take forever. Because I remember the last time I had to, they had to ship the starter, and it took like 3 days. So We will see you guys tomorrow in the next clip. Okay, so installing your rears are going to be super easy. Just move that one out of the way. You're not going to need this extra nut. I think they just do that for whatever reason. So you're going to have your nut here, your strut, your coilover, and just make sure this top nut is going to be tight so it has no chance of moving. Obviously this could be your lock nut, which is probably what it's for. So obviously having two nuts locked down, this top hat is never going to go anywhere. Take your strut cap, that can just sit right on top. And this part's going to go up in your rear strut tower. Once that's sitting in the car upright like this, this is going to be your upper one. This goes from the top, squishes the body metal in the middle. Take your nut with the nylock, you can see that there, and you'll just tighten that down with an impact, and you're done. The rears, obviously, this is going to sit in your rear situation, the rear suspension. We'll show you that, and then the bolt goes through, hook it up to the nut, and then you're done. This is a very easy process. Okay, so since we can't really we're not going to take everything apart to measure from top to bottom. What I like to do is just measure from the bottom of the strut. Now from the fronts, you can gauge where you're at through the bottom, because the bottom of the sleeve is hollow and you can actually see the strut coming through. Since you can't do that with the rears because they are sealed, what I like to do is just measure from the bottom and count your way up. Like I would say the good start is start at 4 inches. So what I'll do is I'll put a piece of tape at 4 inches on both struts, lube it, and then run my collar all the way up to 4 inches, and then that'll be our good starting point. And then from there we can count the threads on the strut from the top here down to where we think we want to keep the spring. I like to start with the spring not flopping around, just snug it and then go maybe like 2 or 3 turns, and then we'll start from there as a good base point and then adjust as needed. Okay, so after a little bit of measuring, they are exactly the same, and bottom to top and everything like that. Everything's measured out exactly the same. So let's take them to the car, get them installed, and we won't exactly be able to dial in the rear suspension without the front and the car sitting, but we'll do it the best we can. You can see I haven't driven this car in a while. Anyways, some people have asked me, yes, Mark IV brake calipers in the rear. Mark III carrier is what you will need. Some people say you need Passat B3 brake hose to connect. I say no, you don't. All you need is the Mark IV brake line. It goes down and it connects all the way up to the beam. That's it. So anybody tells you need to go get Passat B3, B4 brake line, you don't need it. Everything from the Mark IV will fit except for the carrier. You need to keep the Mark III caliper carrier. And there you go. It's in there. It's pretty much gonna sit straight up. Just rest it on the gas filler. And then when you go to jack everything up, if you have an extra set of hands, this will go way smoother, but you'll need somebody to probably just guide it up or just tighten it. That way it'll stay up. And then as you tighten and lift the rear beam with your jack, it'll just sit up in there. Once it sits in nice and flush, put the top cap on and the top bushing, and then cinch it down with your hardware. Alright, so we got it jacked up. So take your top strut mount, sandwich, nut. I mean, don't sandwich your nuts, just sandwich, you get it. You don't tighten it too tight. Pull you don't want to pull the washer through your bushing if you have urethane or whichever. But that should be good. And then once we drop the suspension, there we go. I think it's gonna be super short. Okay, so this might be a long video. I don't care. we're gonna go do this together. Now, I didn't measure, didn't do anything. We're just gonna put the wheel on here and see exactly what. Oh my God, what happens? I should fix the e-brake because I noticed that the e-brake came out of the thing. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. Let me get some tools. Yo, look how low that is. Now, I wonder if... I don't know if I'll be able to drive that low. But... Fam. That looks wild. To me, I might need to put a little bit more camber in and ride that low. Look at that. I mean, are you looking at that? Seems like a little bit low. I'll raise it just a bit. I mean, just a bit. Just a bit. Half inch. So, remember when I had it at 4 inches, then I went to 5? Should have left it at 4. So I raised it an inch. I raised it an inch because eventually, although you want it super slammed, we are going to have to let the car settle on the springs for a couple weeks. And then as it finally settles, then and only then we will probably have to come back here and adjust it again. And then after that, you do the alignment. But for now, we're going to go back to 4 inches. I'm going to raise this one up an inch. That way I don't have to do that while it's in the car. But obviously you will set it at your preference. Let's try this again. Oh, and I fixed my e-brake too. It wasn't working for a while. Let's try this again. Better. Better. Way better. Right. As you see, all my stuff is dirty. All this stuff. This is just going to be for now until tip of the day, make sure you always put, if you just so happen to be running adapters or even with the bolt studs, always start a couple threads before you use any kind of power tool. That way you don't strip anything and go through the headache of having to tap and die and get new studs and all that blah blah blah. Now to me this looks probably perfect because when you put it on the ground the spring will compress either way and then probably sit where there we go. Let's go, baby. Oh, is it now a 17? 18. Just now, front is lifted, but a little too low. Let's see what the passenger side looks like. I have a feeling the passenger side is probably sitting more where I want it to be. I want it to just hit the top of the tire. But that don't look bad, bro. Watch out. That don't look bad at all. Half inch? Maybe 3/4 on this side? Yeah. I think so. That's gonna look real good. I don't know if for rubbing purposes, it might tear the hell out of this. I'm gonna have to fix or try to remedy that part right there. But we'll lock it in, don't worry. So due to the length of these videos, I'm gonna end this one here just because I don't want it to be super long. This will be a part 1. Next time when we get the fronts in, that'll be a part 2. So normally you can get this done in 1 day, but like I said, I don't have the parts and I'll lose the light really, really fast nowadays, but we'll get it done. So stick with me. We're gonna dial this in. We're gonna get the suspension right. I'm gonna try my best to get the starter out right now before it gets super dark and at least drop it off. If not tonight, tomorrow at AutoZone so they can test it. If it doesn't work, get the warranty one ordered and hopefully have it within a couple days and then go from there. But yeah, man, that's it. So stay with me, subscribe if you haven't and you want to, and leave a like on these videos. Check out the other stuff, man. I got plenty of videos. I got like almost 200 videos on my channel, and I'll see you guys next time for part 2 in the garage. Peace.